going on, guys? It's me, Weston.
I'm Marcelo.
And welcome to Trash Talk.
And car alarm in the background. The car alarm will be joining us too for this episode of Trash Talk. Episode 64 or something like that. But we're not going over a Nintendo 64 game. It's a PS2 game. Go ahead and say what it is.
It's Star Wars Racer's Revenge.
Okay, yeah. Star Wars Racer's Revenge. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this game was released originally on February 11th, 2002, and it was published by LucasArts and developed by Rainbow Games.
Yeah.
I got that right. Alright, so funny story with this game. This is actually one of the first games I've ever played that I actually really got into. So I was really into racing games back then, and this one, I was also a little bit into Star Wars, you know, when I was 6, you know, I watched them all.
As you are, I guess. I haven't, but alright, go on.
But anyway, like, I don't know, I saw the game, and then I was like, oh, this will look fun, and I had a lot of fun with it. And right when Marcelo said that it was on the PlayStation Store,
oh yeah,
I immediately got it.
Yeah,
because this is a game that I'm oddly nostalgic for.
We had a call at one point, we were just talking about games, and you mentioned Star Wars Racer Revenge, and I'm like, yeah, I think I saw that on the PS Store, and he just stopped everything and goes, what? I'm telling you right now. And then, like, as we're talking, he's like, you could tell in his voice that he was, like, distracted by something. I'm like, you're downloading it, aren't you? He's like, yep. I'm like,
yep.
Alright. So for the longest time, I needed to play it once he suggested it for the show, and so I was like, okay, well, let me play it, and I didn't have it at the time, only he did, so we were trying to get to his place. That's why we were at his place filming Portal. We were supposed to film Star Wars as well, but the game had to, like, download or update or some shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'll get it on mine, and so I did, and we just played it before filming, and now here we are filming. Yep. So, story.
The story is, well, it's non-canon story. Basically, so Boba is, well, if you watch the original movies, so Boba is really pissed off that Anakin Skywalker won on the race and he got disgraced. But then he came back and started, you know, causing shit. So Anakin is just like, know what, guys? Nothing my Jedi training. It's time to race. And that's the story. It's a really dumb story, but it's a non-canon story.
Yeah, that Jedi shit, put it on hold. We're gonna fucking
that
hit
whole
the tracks.
Clone Wars shit. Fuck that. I'm gonna go racing.
That's not important.
That's not important.
In the context of this racing game.
So yeah, it's a dumb story.
It's a racer. It's a racing game.
It's a racing game. Do we really need a story?
As basic as you can get for the most part.
Yeah.
Gameplay though, okay, you can say your piece on the gameplay.
Gameplay is really interesting. It's not like other racers.
It definitely isn't.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know if the control schemes were a little bit off from, like, the original. I don't know if it was, not the best port, but I don't remember the control scheme being that awkward. I remember on the original PS2 version, you can change the camera, you can keep it the way that was from just pressing a button.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they changed that for this one, but you can't really change. It's always from, like, the front view, but if you want first person view, yeah. I like playing from third person views.
Yeah, exactly, same here.
So that way you can see what I'm doing. But for some reason, they mapped it out weird, and you have to hold L1.
Like, you have to hold it.
You have to hold it, so you can't let it go, or else you go back to first person. I don't know why. Maybe we just haven't had enough time to really see if that was the case, but that was very off-putting.
Did you happen to, like, sell your original copy from back then?
I think I have it. Sorry, my throat's kind of... But, you know, I don't know if, I think I still have it, but I think I got, like, scratched and broken. Because we played it a lot.
Yeah.
And then there's, a lot of interesting mechanics in that game. Basically, like, you can bash other players with your pod. And, if you destroy their pod, you know, they're out of the race. They can't be out. Marcelo learned that the hard way. So basically, you're just kind of sitting there. You don't respawn. that's it. You're done. You're dead.
Yeah. So you said that's a thing like from the films.
From the films, yeah, that's how a lot of people get like knocked out of the race. I guess that adds like a bit of realism. And then there's a boost in the game as well. Like you press R2 for the PlayStation 4 controller to do the boost. But the thing is, you can't do the boost forever. Because if you hold on and if you hit that like certain point on the temperature gauge, basically it'll destroy your engines and then basically you blow up, you lose. So you're supposed to not do that. There is a way of fixing your engines though, by holding the L2 button, which again, very awkward with this control scheme, because you're
already holding
the camera, yeah, as well.
Person. Yeah.
Basically, that's how you hold it, and the longer you hold it, the more it heals up. And if you heal it all the way max, it'll let you know by going like a pwah, making like a sound clip.
Little sound effect.
Little sound clip to know that your engines are in the green.
Okay. Yeah. Plus, it's literally in the green. You have your little icon in the corner, and you.
I mean, it's not the main objective to destroy other people, but they have like with all the tracks, it kind of shows you like fastest lap, fastest overall time, and then most KOs. So like, let's say you didn't do good in that race, but you still got most KOs. That means your name gets put on the board because you got the most KOs. I remember being a lot better at this game when I was a kid. I used to destroy everybody. I wasn't the best at times. Like, I think this is the first game I actually 100%ed.
Really?
Yeah. Because I got the best times on everything. I got the most KOs on everything. Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, and I got all the characters, I got all the tracks, and that was the first game I actually 100%ed. Because it was a fun game back in the day. And it's still kind of a fun game. Though, it might be because of the port that there are some issues to it.
Yeah, if you want my honest opinion on this side of things, I don't think it really aged well because there's many reasons I want to get into for it. I'm going to try not to make them, they're not going to be too long of tangents as they were. But essentially, so the first thing we mentioned was the bouncing around and blowing up kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I asked him if that was a thing in the game, in the films, and you said yeah, I was like, okay, well that's fine for the films because we're watching it. But when you're experiencing that and you're just out for good when you blow up, I don't think that's a good translation from film to game just because, well, imagine like me, you're there playing for the first time, not really knowing what's going on, trying to get used to the controls. Naturally, with the way this kind of, because there are many kinds of racers, you got your more cartoony racers like Mario Kart, you got your realistic gritty racers like Gran Turismo or something, and then you got these kinds which are a somewhat blend of the two, I would say, but it does tend to lean more towards the realistic physics and whatnot than the cartoony ones.
Yeah.
And when you're bumping around and you're trying to figure out, you're trying to get used to the speed and all that, and using your boost and whatever, and you're bumping into dudes, and dudes come out of nowhere from freaking frame bumping into you.
Because the whole goal is with the AI will like to do that with you too. And so you have to really watch out for your opponents, and then if they bash you, you want to bash them back.
It gets chaotic, and it's clearly, you would need to really, it's tough to get into when you're not used to these kinds of racers, like, I'm speaking from a direct experience.
And it really speaks to, like, how the maps are, because I remember, like, a lot of the later maps get really complicated, so it's kind of hard to do a lot of that stuff. You have to really know the maps well, because if you like, let's say you, like, grind on the corner, that damages your engine, that fucks you up.
Yeah.
I think in the old games, I remember this, I think in the old port, they had it to where you can heal like one engine or the other one with the bumpers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say your left engine was damaged, you can heal both of them. You can heal one instead of the other one. But I think with this game, I think what they did is they just mapped it to the same button so it heals both of them now.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can heal your engines, but as a result, you have to kind of slow down. You can't use boost or anything, and your character slows down a bit. So what I would recommend you do is you want to get to the front and then, like, get a good lead in with your boost and then kind of heal up a bit while maintaining, not to hit the corners and all that.
Yeah,
because this game does kind of punish you for grinding on the corners. It really wants you to do precise turns and all that.
It took me a while to even register that there was visually something happening, because even without like the sound effect is kind of not quiet, but you have to really listen for it. But in terms of like the visual like indication that you're actually healing, I wasn't even catching on that anything was even happening while holding down L2. I kept asking them, "Are you sure it's working? Are you sure it's working?" Because I don't see any difference. But once he started explaining these kinds of things to me, immediately I started to I was paying more attention to that as I was going, because yeah, racing wasn't really the hard part. The controls do feel fine for the most part, but in terms of this mechanic of having to repair yourself and make sure you don't fucking blow yourself up, I don't know about that. Like, it took me a while to even register that anything was happening when I was trying to heal myself. I didn't think it was working. And it even made him question, like, wait, that is the right way to do it. Like, you're trying to remember, that was the right way to do it, right? But I did start to see some physical stuff going on with, like,
yeah, so basically,
how I
like,
was healing, so
your engines have, like, 3 stages. Like, green is good. Yellow, you'll start to know it's yellow by, like, the smoke that's exiting out.
Yeah.
And then when it's red, you'll see, like, your engines are on fire, but it'll also give you a noise cue of, like,
and you're smoking from the back.
And you're smoking a lot, which means your engines are gonna be destroyed if you don't heal them up.
And then stage 4, you're dead.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So
that's I don't know, I think those are really well-designed cues to let you know.
Yeah.
The draw distance for this game isn't the best.
Was
but
that intentional?
I think it was intentional. It kind of like...
It has like that draw distance fog, and you know how I am about that, so I was like...
Yeah, I think it has that just to kind of make sure you pay attention to the map, because, like, you don't really... It has, like, the map on the corner, and it
because as the course is, like, dissolving in front of your eyes, in front of you as you're going, it's really weird because you don't know what's coming up next, and you can argue that's good game design because it always keeps you on your toes, but at the same time, in a racing game, you're needing to go fast, and you're needing to pay attention. Someone's banging shit in the background. I don't know, it's really... I don't know, it doesn't drive well with me. Like, it's something you really need to, like, I guess play more to get used to, but I wasn't really all for it. So I don't know, it's very, very odd. What was the one other thing too? We mentioned the bumping, the boosting is a pretty okay mechanic. The fact that you don't have any kind of real limit to your boost. The only thing that is limiting is the temperature gauge.
Yeah, so you can boost for a pretty long time.
And that's fine, yeah, I didn't have a problem.
And then a lot of the characters are pretty well, as well as the starting characters are really balanced. Like, some characters are kind of meant to be a lot more faster and kind of not be in a lot of physical situations, while other characters have, like, they're bigger pods, and so, like, they can take more of a beating, and they're kind of meant to, like, bash people in, but they're not as fast. Mm-hmm. So there's a good balancing there, and all that stuff, and it kind of shows you with all the characters and all that. And then, with the gameplay as well, half the cast is locked to you. I think most of the cast is locked to you. And the way you do it is by playing the story mode and beating their tracks. If you get first place, you get, like, to unlock the next track, you just have to kind of get in the general, like, first, second, third. But if you want that character, you have to beat first place, yeah. Or beat, like, certain records.
That's very, very, like, early, that's classic in these kinds of games.
Yeah, so not only do you unlock characters, but then you also can beat, like, the times, like, for best race, best lap, or, like, most KOs. So it'll show you, like, who are the front runners on those. Like, the most KOs on a certain map could be 4, but if you get, like, 5 or 6 or something, then you, like, obviously, then you get it. It's very hard to do 7. I've done it a few times. I managed to do it, but it took, like, a long time. Especially with some of the harder tracks. Like, a lot of the tracks get harder later on.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it's, but there's a good number of tracks, too. You have to unlock them all in the story mode. But you can pick whoever character you want for the story mode. So you don't have to stick with Anakin or anything. But,
little rat tail ass, fucking Santa's course ass, fucking Anakin.
Yeah.
There's also an announcer annoying as shit.
Annoying as shit. Luckily, you can turn it off.
Thankfully, you can turn his volume, his specific volume off.
I grew up with the announcer, though.
I don't like when games talk to you constantly, but that's just me. So I mean.
So yeah, we turned him off for the gameplay because Marcelo was annoyed by them.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, so
So the aesthetics in the box cover. The box cover is kind of plain.
We don't have the box.
But it's basically
right here. Okay. Well, not that far, but okay. Yeah. Okay. There it was. Bland, I would say. Very.
Yeah, it's pretty much a yellow background with the titular character Sebulba.
Yeah.
He's pretty much like the character he's the last character you unlock. For and to add a little bit of fan service, the last track is the track from the movie. From the Phantom Menace. So that's a bit of fan service. So that's the last track you get to unlock. And it's one of the hardest tracks in the game, I believe.
In terms of how everything looks, it's very Star Wars-esque. So I mean, graphically, it's pretty. Well, it's not even so. Well, it's dated, but it looks good. It does look good for an early PS2 game. It's a good looking early PS2 game.
They put a lot of time and effort into it for
limitations.
Yeah. So with that, the soundtrack is pretty much Star Wars stuff.
There's one more thing I wanted to mention. Which it falls partially into gameplay, partially into aesthetics, or mainly into environments, because that's kind of one and the same with aesthetics and the look and the general structure of things. Especially this being a racing game, you really want to kind of analyze how the structure of the race courses are like. And while they're pretty cool and they are all varied and themed after whatever the planets and whatnot. I kind of think the reason why it falls in the gameplay, as you're trying to go fast, as you're trying to pay attention to your gauges, your meters, your temperature stuffs and whatnot, you're trying not to bump into people, or at least have people bump into you, and all that stuff, but the speed that you're going and everything, and with the abrupt fucking turns at some points in some of these levels, again, meant to keep you on your toes. When you don't expect it, you're gonna inevitably get it.
You were talking about the aesthetic. Sorry, there was a call.
Trying to remember where I was. I'm talking about the sharp turns. Yeah, when you're not expecting the sharp turns, it really feels cheap. It feels cheap to me because the draw distance. It's the draw distance coupled with the fast-paced, gameplay, coupled with the fact that the turns are so sharp, and sometimes even when they don't have general okay, arrows go this way now. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish where you're supposed to be turning because it's still an abrupt turn, but it's not. It's more. Can I say subtle? I mean, it's more. It's not in your face, but I don't know how to describe it. But it was very weird, and I was bumping into stuff all the time and grinding against the sides as it was already. So. It was weird, and I didn't really care for that. It basically comes down, ultimately, this little tangent of mine, to the way the levels were designed, which could have been better in my opinion. But yeah, so soundtrack, you were saying.
Soundtrack is pretty much just ripped straight from the Star Wars movies. So basically, if you like Star Wars, it's fine, but it doesn't really have its own original soundtrack, I guess.
Yeah, not really followable. It's there in the background to do its thing, and it's okay.
So. Yeah, so the soundtrack isn't gonna wow anybody like you or listen to Star Wars and all that stuff. So it's whatever.
But it's all right.
Yeah, and then characters. There's a good variety of characters.
Weird stick man.
Yeah.
Big fat guy.
I haven't seen half the characters. Half of them look really weird.
They're fucking weird.
Yeah, but they're all aliens, so it makes sense.
I don't know them. They're
probably just made up. They're probably just made up for the game. So a lot of them were. No, some of them were from the movies. So there's not really a lot to talk about.
How would you be able to tell?
If you watch the movies, you pick up. Oh, I've seen this guy, or I've seen that guy.
Oh.
Okay. 3 of them for sure. 4 of them are from the movie. They're kind of a reference to the movie. But anyway, yeah, that's it for really characters. There's not a lot to really talk about.
Yeah, again, they're kind of just out of the way, a little bland, I guess. FedEx is here. Let's cut one more time, shall we? Yeah, so that's basically it for characters and basically it for the review. What would your verdict be?
My verdict would be a 4 out of 5. It's still a really fun game, but it might be just because of the port. the port was kind of awkward, and I remember doing a lot more stuff with the original one. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so for me, I thought I was gonna have like a really good time with this, just for playing what we played before filming and all that stuff. But it was, while the controls did feel fine for the most part, again, it comes down to the way it was, the levels were designed, the way the gameplay is. In general, it just didn't sit well with me because I've played many different racing games.
No, yeah.
And so this one was just really weird to get into, and I'm not sure I really want to continue it. Just the fact that it's, again, the draw distance, the sharp turning, the general design of the tracks, the bumping into people and blowing up, so you gotta pay attention. Like in terms of, so because there's no weapons or item pickups or whatever the hell else like in other kinds of racing games. But so you're not just going, turning. I mean, maybe if you're in first place, that's what it's like. But when you're in the fray, it's making sure you don't get hit and keeping, paying attention to the layout of the course. And while that does sound fine and it's all good, to someone who just does not know what's happening because it's like your first time or so playing, it's gonna feel really weird. Maybe you will have a better time than I did. But I think overall, I'm probably have to give this a 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
I don't see myself going back into it, but for playing it for the show, it was fine enough. And it's not like I was raging or anything like that. I was just confused for the most part.
Alright. Okay.
But it's just, it's just kind of bland for me. So.
Alrighty, that's fine. Alright, well.
Basically it. If you guys have played this, what do you think about it? Let us know in the comments. Join us next time when we review something else. I'm Marcelo.
I'm Weston.
And thank you for watching Trash Talk, episode 64. Yay. I think this releases on my birthday. I don't know. So happy birthday, maybe.
Happy birthday to Marcelo, maybe. I still have to get him a gift.
Balloons. I don't know.
Alrighty.